All right, you've got 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Chairman Ashby and members. My name is Dr. Chloe Latham Sikes. I'm the Deputy Director of Policy at IDRA, and we are in favor of House Bill 1581. This bill is refiled, I believe, exactly as written as it passed the House last session, as House Bill 2164, and as Representative Guerra laid out, that it was coming straight from the Texas Education Agency's strategic plan for emergent bilingual student success. That plan was at the requirement from Senate Bill 560 passed in the 87th legislature that required the TEA to collaborate with the Coordinating Board and the Workforce Commission to create this statewide strategic plan, and it held several legislative recommendations. And so this bill addresses two of those legislative recommendations, one of them being more monitoring capacity within the agency for our 1.3 million students who speak a language other than English at home. And I know Spanish constitutes the majority of those, but there are 120 languages that our public school students speak at home. So lots of language supports and programs to address their learning and language needs. And then the other component was additional educator training. To substantively support the development of high-quality bilingual programs and sustaining them, with teacher training, with materials, district and intercampus coordination. And so this is addressing several of the agency's recommendations. We are also in favor because we know that strong bilingual programs are an early literacy strategy, and as the last bill just addressed, they're a graduation strategy, they're a workforce strategy for making sure students are actually able to sustain language skills. So we appreciate your favorable consideration and happy to take any questions.
Great. Just a comment, Dr. Sikes. I had a large group of college students in from Stephen F. Austin yesterday in my office, and they were talking about this. This was one of many issues, but they were speaking about this exact issue and the importance of doing what Representative Guerra is proposing here in this bill. So I was glad to hear you comment on that.
Thank you.
Representative Schoolcraft.
Dr. Sikes, thank you. Just so I know the terminology, we've got bilingual, we got ESL, and emergent bilingual. ESL is the students coming into the system not adequately speaking English, is that correct?
They are very similar terms. Emergent bilingual students is the term for the students. And that was changed, that federally that's English learner, but they are considered and identified as emergent bilingual students.
And that's the ones in ESL?
ESL and bilingual education are programs. So bilingual education is a type of program that there's actually several programs considered bilingual education offered in Texas schools by law, and they're focused on the student's home language and learning English, as well as learning academic content. ESL is a type of program, but it's English as a second language, so it's much less focused on sustaining a student's home language and literacy abilities of whatever that might be, and the 120 languages at home. And they are more focused on academic content in English and being able to transition them to English. But those are two programmatic terms. And then emergent bilingual students is referring to students identified.
Okay, so bilingual has the purpose of trying to keep the first language and adding another language. I mean, making them bilingual, truly. Keeping it that
Correct.
way.
There's different
Okay.
programs to do that, but that is the category, yes, of those programs.
Now, is emergent bilingual, then you're saying can be either ESL or bilingual?
Well, emergent bilingual students can participate in any of those programs that might be offered at their campus, at their district. What happened along in the 87th in 2021, along with Senate Bill 560, was another bill that changed the term that we use in Texas from English learner to emergent bilingual. So that is still the student level identification and designation that drives funding as well as designation for certain programs.
Okay, and that would be a student in that category who does not initially speak English or does not well enough to be instructed in English?
A student, according to the TEA's home language survey, which all districts administer, they speak a language other than English at home. And then there's a series of assessments, and I believe TEA is here if there's more process and procedural questions about that. But,
Okay, for
yes,
those
sir.
of us who were in school a couple years ago, like I took Spanish for 2 years. That's really not either one of these, that's just a foreign language?
Correct, yes. Yeah, that's foreign language, which is a different type of credit.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Sikes, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, Chairman.